Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's team call, Team Victory All Stars. I'm super excited to have been asked to host the call tonight because Anna is off celebrating her anniversary with her husband. So they are having a good time in Minnesota, I'm sure. Um, she asked me to talk about events, and before I dive into that, I want to just share with you guys my story a little bit from when I started as a coach, because I didn't do that during leader of the day, and I kind of uh, forgot that was something I wanted to do. So my story is that I was in drum and bugle corps for 5 years, which was touring professional, for lack of a better term, marching band. And so we would tour around the United States on tour buses and go from state to state, rehearsing all day long, and then performing every night, then getting on the bus and sleeping on the bus overnight, and going to the next town that we were performing in or that we are going to have a day to rehearse in, and do the same thing over and over, sleeping in gym floors and different places like YMCA's and things like that. And it was a lot of fun. Also, it was like running a marathon every single day for 3 months straight, which was, it was pretty cool. We were all in great shape. We were eating, tons of things we didn't need to eat, but who cared? We were in great shape because we were exercising all day long every day for 3 months. And because of that, my weight was going up and down because when I wasn't on the road, I was, it was a college lifestyle, beer and pizza and, junk food and fast food and not a lot of exercise and things like that because I wasn't big into working out. I just was never something I was really into. And so after I got out of drum corps, I kind of gained weight and just stayed heavy. And I carry weight like in my upper body and in my shoulders back then. So people didn't really think I was that much overweight, but I definitely felt it and could see it when I looked in the mirror. And so um, my weight went up and down. I would try to eat better and try to be more active and things like that. And for a couple of years, but was working a full time job out of college, and so I just wasn't settling into a healthy lifestyle. I was just kind of going with the flow and being a musician, playing late night gigs, and then you're hungry after the gig and you're driving home, and the only thing available is fast food. So that was catching up with me. My metabolism was slowing down because I wasn't as active, and that kept going on and on. And so then I was talking to a keyboard player out of Madison's wife. His name is Jimmy Vagley. His wife is my coach, and her name is Laura Vagley. And she was telling me about this stuff that she drinks, Shakeology, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna look into that. Tell me more about that. So I started drinking Shakeology, and I was really interested in the Ultimate Reset because of the cleansing properties of that um, process. Just because I'm like, man, I know I don't have a healthy lifestyle, and so I just dove into starting to get healthy. So for 4 weeks, I drank Shakeology, and I lost 10 pounds in those first 4 weeks. And that was the only change I made in my lifestyle, which then I was like, okay, so now if I just do something else, let's try this 21-day ultimate reset. And I did it. I followed it to a T. And even though it was really hard to do because we were living with my in laws at the time, I followed it perfectly, and I lost 20 pounds in 3 weeks doing the ultimate reset. So in the first 7 weeks of my experience with Beachbody, I lost 30 pounds, and I didn't work out a single day of that first 7 weeks. So I was hooked, and I was like, so what's this coaching thing? Obviously, I knew she was a coach, and so I knew what a coach was, but I didn't really know what they did and what the all the benefits were. Um, so it's awesome to have had that great result right off the bat. I mean, that's what got me interested in being a coach because I knew I could do this this thing helping people get healthy, and it was also then going to benefit me. I just figured, $50 here, $100 there, and just see how it goes. Well, that can that then will lead us into the power of events, because the events that I started seeing going on was what kept me going. I signed up as a coach at the very end of May, which, of course, as you guys know, is right before Summit. So I was like, well, what's this Summit thing? I don't know anything about it. I'm just not going to go. And the more I saw everyone posting on Facebook about Summit, go to Summit, I'm so excited for Summit, and seeing pictures of the year before and all of that, it was like, oh man, why didn't I go and make this work? It was, I had only been a coach for a month, you know, as by the time Summit came around, I was like, why didn't I make this work? Why am I not at Summit? Everybody's posts, I can't believe I'm missing this. So after that, I totally like just dove into every chance I got to spend time with people that were involved with Beachbody, whether it was friends of mine that were coaches, or people that were into being healthy and things like that. I didn't know how to run the business at that point because I was brand new. I was going through the new coach boot camp and doing all of the training and things like that. But I wasn't like really working the business like we all are, you know, all those of us that are on this call. Um, so that momentum that I got as I went into Summit was like, oh, okay. I forget who it was. Probably Anna posted this really awesome post about, if you're not going to Summit, here's how you can still gain some momentum from the event by talking about how excited you are that all your friends that are in the fitness business that are also Beachbody coaches are out in Vegas at this amazing event, and they're getting to find out about new products. They're getting to meet all these celebrity trainers and famous coaches and things like that. And so that really helped me at that point, you know, gain a little bit of momentum. Then T25 came out, and I was like, oh, okay, I want to get that. So I signed my wife up as a coach and used T25 was the challenge pack that she got with her enrollment. I had gotten the 10-minute trainer thinking, oh, I don't know about this whole working out every day thing. You know, I want to ease into it. So 10-minute trainer I thought was great. Well, then T25 came out, but nobody knew that was coming out because we hadn't had Summit yet. So when I enrolled, I was like, oh, okay, 10-minute trainer. So then July comes around, T25 comes out, and I start working out. And aside from the people that knew that I had lost that 30 pounds, now people really started to notice that I wasn't just looking healthier, but I was, you know, people would comment, you know, oh, you're looking more toned up, and, you know, have you been working out now that you lost all this weight, or are you just going back to your old habits? And because they wanted to see if I was sticking with this new kind of lifestyle that I was so excited about, and obviously posting a lot on Facebook about and inviting people to, and that really was a good way to build all of that up and share, you know, my story, was people asking. But as we all know, you get your transformation, and then after you have your transformation and you get into kind of the just keeping up with it mode instead of transformation mode, then you know, you kind of lose that conversation starter that you get from people where they're like, "Hey, you look great. Are you, you know, what are you doing? You look like you've lost weight." You know, because they know that you're doing this and they already have noticed you've had a change. And that, I think that we get that way with our business sometimes too. We get excited at the beginning. We sign up. We're like, okay, I'm a coach. I'm really excited about this. We start telling everybody, you know, about this shake that we're drinking, Shakeology. And as we're doing that, we kind of lose that momentum after a while because we've talked to people that we know and see on a daily basis, and then we kind of go, well, now what? And that's where we talk about stepping outside your comfort zone, starting relationships with strangers, and you know, just talking to people, not about Beachbody or about health, but just talking to people. And so by just talking to these people and getting out of our comfort zone, we then gain a new momentum because there's an excitement of, oh wow, okay, I remember the 5 step. I don't need my phone out in front of me anymore when I'm talking to people and going through the 5 step. I can just talk to them, and the conversation is more natural because I'm getting out of my comfort zone, which I'm getting more used to. Shalene Johnson says in Pio, she wants you to go to the point that you're comfortably uncomfortable. And I think we need to do the same thing with our businesses, because if you're comfortably uncomfortable, then that means you have the confidence and the courage to just keep the conversation going with somebody as you're talking with them and building a relationship, and you don't hit a wall with the conversation and kind of then just sort of back away from continuing talking to that person. Um, so we have to always find ways to renew the momentum that we have from one event to another event, or from one conversation to another. If you break it down to something smaller than the momentum that you get from going to an event, then that would be where I would take it. Would be, okay, how can I make each conversation better than the last one, and the momentum build from one conversation to another, as opposed to just, oh, okay, I talked to 5 people today, I'm really excited, and then the next day you don't talk to anybody, and you go, well, now I'm not as excited. Use the momentum from talking to one person and build that into the next person and the next conversation that you have, because that is really going to help just mentally you feel good about what you're doing. And if we feel good about what we're doing, we enjoy doing it, and we get more motivated to continue to do it because we enjoy it. The same reason why we go out to eat, why we go to movies, why we go to baseball games and football games and do all these things. We enjoy doing them. They make us feel good. And if we can do the same thing with our business, it's going to keep you pushing forward, and it's going to continue to feel good, and you're going to continue doing it. You're going to have awesome results, just like with we do with our workouts. So building that to, or sharing that with your challenge groups and things like that, is also going to really help them with their momentum. The momentum that they have when they start the program is great. They're excited. They're like, I'm going to try start drinking the shakes tomorrow. I'm going to start my workout tomorrow. So they've got their calendar out, and then they get 2 weeks into it, and they're on the verge of really creating that habit. So they're excited and they're pushing forward. And then they get to week 4, week 5, week 6, and they kind of lose their gas a little bit. And it's kind of like, okay, well, now how do I keep my challenge group motivated? And I hear on the National Wake Up Call a lot, coaches talk about that. How do I keep my people motivated? And when I first started coaching, the challenge groups were all 90-day groups. And now you probably notice that they're all 30-day groups, or 21-day, depending on the program. Um, that change was pretty big in terms of the team victory training, because all of the training was then based on the fact that you had people in the group for 90 days. And so it kind of, you could see if you went through all the modules for those 90 days, like there would be dips in the information, or in the guide, the challenge group guides, because it was hard to keep up with something interesting for every single day. But when you shorten it to a 30-day group, and then at 30 days, you say, okay, if you're going to continue with this, now you've got them interested in, the commitment side of things. But also, as they continue with that, they're going to get excited about this new, okay, now we have a new group. It's almost like starting at day one all over again. You have that same excitement. And I know Jeff Hill talked about that on one of the wake up calls, about the momentum you have just at the beginning of every month. If you get to week 3 of the month and you feel like you haven't done anything, well, just say, okay, I've got 2 weeks for the rest of the month. Today's day one. Get the same excitement that you have at the beginning of the month and carry that into week 3, and you get really excited the same as you do at the beginning of the month, and that gives you momentum into the end of the month, that if you continue that process, then that builds into the next month, and the next month, and the next month, and it goes, and it just terraces up and up. Excuse me. Um, so, talking more about events, I wanted to share with you guys one of my most memorable events from Summit this year, which was my first Summit. It was one of the nights we were there. I don't remember which night it was, but there was a group of us that were all hanging out in Anna's room, and we were just talking, and just Anna loves to talk about coaching and share all the information that she has. And so it was really cool to sit in the room and basically have one-on-one time. There was like 5 or 6 of us in the room, and people were coming in and out, and because it was after everything had ended that night. But the conversation that we had there was a lot like one-on-one interview with somebody, because everyone had different questions. Everyone was at different places in their with their business. They had been coaches for different times, so she had to answer everybody as if everybody was a brand new coach. Everyone was a coach had been a coach for a year. Everybody was at emerald rank, or everybody was at 5-star rank. Her questions, she could really tailor the information to us in direct relationship to our business and what we had going on at that time. And that was an opportunity that those of us that were there, only had because we went to the event. And being there in her room, hanging out late at night with the whole excitement of being at Summit and everything, really got us all fired up. I know we all afterwards went and had really cool Facebook posts about hanging out together, and just getting to know people better, and kind of work the networking side of going to Summit, and just getting to know the team better, and know these, even some people that weren't on the team. None of them were in the room then that night, but just the people you get to meet at Summit definitely is really cool. And it's another way of practicing building relationships. Um, let's talk about Super Saturdays. Super Saturdays for me are really cool because you have momentum building up to them, and then afterwards you're really fired up because of all the new things they've announced. You get to see the video from corporate, which is really, they spend a lot of time putting production into that, so that one, it gets a lot of information to us and keeps us excited, and it also keeps us up to date with what's going on kind of behind the scenes, the stuff that we don't have to worry about, that we're paying our monthly coach fee for. They keep you up to speed with those types of things. And I don't know if you guys have larger Super Saturday events close to you that you can get to, but it's definitely worth it. I've been to smaller ones up in Madison that are there's like probably 20 to 30 people that show up to that one, just because it's a central location, and there are people traveling from an hour and a half, 2 hours away, 4 hours away, depending on how far we get. But I've gone to ones down in Chicago that have 250 to 600 people at them, and the energy that you get from being in a room that's full of people like that is really incredible. And doing, they have the live workouts and things like that, and that's exciting too. But the more exciting part is just the energy that you get, and everybody there is excited. They want to be there. They've brought people that are interested in becoming coaches to the event, and now they're going to get excited about it the same way. So you get excited by seeing all the new people at these events. And the bigger events are usually the ones that bring in people from corporate and the celebrity trainers and things like that. Um, I got to see Michael Neiman at one, Tommy Migrant at another one, and those were very memorable events, and I had definitely the most fire coming out of those events and passion for doing this, because getting to talk to those people and hear their stories and hear what they had to say about being a coach and everything was really great. I know Tommy Migrants, there's a lot of notes in the team page in the file section from his Super Saturday in Chicago. And something that when you guys go to these events that I definitely recommend in terms of networking is just to obviously show up early so that you can talk to people and meet them when you first show up, but also stay late. Uh, I hung out afterwards and was talking to the person who led the group warm up or group workout, and then I also was talking to the people who were the hosts of the event, and I didn't know that they were the hosts at that moment. And so they were talking about going out to lunch, and they say, "Hey Tommy, are you ready to go?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I happened to be talking to him at that time, and he goes, "Are you coming to lunch?" And I was like, "Well, I wasn't invited, but if you're inviting me with, of course I would love to go to lunch." So I got to go to lunch with him and hear a lot to him of his stories and extra things that he had to say that he didn't get to say during his presentation at the event. And that's, showing up early and staying late to network is something that I learned as a musician, because it's always the people that show up. They kind of, there's the show up, shut up, go home and get your check and go home. But then there's also the people that show up a little early. They're memorable because they are happy people. They're lighthearted people. They don't say anything that is going to make anybody upset with them. They do a great job, and then they hang out afterwards and continue to talk to the band leaders or people that are doing a lot of other projects that they may get other work from. And you hear a lot of stories about jam sessions in New York where they go till like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and it's always the people that hang the longest that are the ones that get these calls to be on recording sessions or to play other gigs or to get new jobs together. And so I kind of do the same thing with any chance that I have in terms of networking, is to just go to the band leader and just hang out and just talk and build a relationship with that person. And then hopefully when they need to hire somebody again, they can call me and they remember that we had a good conversation. And I'm the nice trombone player that hung out after the gig, and they remember that, and I get called again, or I don't get called again. Which then I don't know because the phone doesn't ring and whatever. But every time I've done that, I've gotten some sort of follow up from those people. So definitely go to the events, find out who the host of the event is, talk to them, kind of ask them questions, friend them on Facebook, and then hang out afterwards. You may get the opportunity to go out with some of these people and pick their brains even more than just when you are talking after the workout or after the event is over, because everybody's trying to leave, everybody wants to talk to them, so they have to keep their conversations shorter. And you want to have that longer conversation, that in-depth conversation about what you do, and what they do, so that you can learn more from them. um, Lastly, before we kind of open it up to just a group discussion, um, I want to just say that it's no accident that any of us are here. um, Somebody posted on the Facebook page that they were kind of having a hard time, and they were, they want to be here. They know they made the right decision, but their business has kind of hit a wall, and they're kind of not sure what to do. They're looking for some inspiration. None of us are here by accident. I want to inspire all of you guys and anyone else that's a coach to be a better coach, because you guys inspire me to be a better coach. And if that person was not a coach, she wouldn't be able to inspire any of you. She wouldn't be able to inspire me. And looking into her story a little more, it's definitely, she definitely inspires me to continue doing what we do, because you get these amazing people that we get to work with. And it may not be every day that you get somebody like that, or it may not be all the time that you're getting these people, but when it happens, it is such a really cool thing. It's a fun experience. There's nothing else like it when you get to help another human being in such a profound way. And as coaches, we have that ability, and we are given the tools to really help people. And so as we go into into these challenge groups, we need to make sure we keep focused on the fact that if we can get them to have great results, we can brag about that on our Facebook pages and our like pages. And then those people hopefully see that and are motivated and supported by all of us as colleagues and fellow coaches, that they can also then feel that energy and want to become a coach as well, and then all go through the same thing as a coach and have the same transformation with their lives as they do with their bodies through the doing the programs. So it is really not an accident that we are here. We're here to help not just the people buying the programs from us that are in our challenge groups, but help each other, especially when we need it and are crying, not crying out for help, but kind of saying, hey guys, pick me up. I'm feeling down. So, um, definitely want to just say we are none of us are here by accident. So at, I'm gonna unmute everybody, and if we just want to, anybody wants to ask any questions or anything like that, um, we'll open it up to everybody. Okay. So, anybody got a question or something they want to talk about in relationship to momentum and events?
Can you guys hear me? I'm on here. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm not gonna be yelling too much because the kid is getting a fever. So, going back to the momentum that you were talking about, I'm one of those that's struggling because I have so much on my plate, and I have this passion that I want to make this work, and I feel like, why am I doing this? Why am I still struggling? Because I know I don't make the time because I feel like I have no time because between full time work, my husband's deployed, mom's taking care of the kid, I'm in the middle of school. It's just like I just feel like I just don't have the time. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate everyone's support, and I'm watching everyone, successfully, and I'm watching people fail as well. I just feel like I know I'm not the only one, but I just sometimes need that pick me up. Like, what, this is the way that I'm doing things to make it work. And I just feel like, I hear the same story, the power of three, and all the other tools that we have out there. I just feel like sometimes, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, God, I want to be successful. I want to be a person. But I feel like, I just, if school was over fast enough, I probably would be up there. But I just feel like it's not working sometimes. So I don't want to give up, but there's times I do want to give up. I'm like, I just, maybe not right now, you know what I mean? But I don't want to give up. So that's all. So, nice cat. That's all I have, really. So,
Yeah, no, that um yeah, the momentum is just obviously the more that we do things, the better we get at them, and that's a lot of why you hear a lot about consistency and being persistently consistent and consistently persistent. Um, if you, I mean, I struggle with the same thing. Time. I mean, I have a full time job. I'm playing a lot, especially in the summertime. I have a lot of gigs going on, and then I have a family, and I teach high school marching band. So it's like I know exactly what you mean. It's always where can you get just 5 minutes or something. And I was talking to Mike Ryan about the Super Saturday coming up, and he was like, you just need to practice calling people. Call, just get a list of 100 people, do the memory jogger, and take that list of 100 people and just say, okay, the first 20 are going to be for practice, more or less. But after that, you're going to feel more comfortable. You're going to see how to start the conversations and keep it going, and do that every day. And obviously, you'll have numbers on your side in terms of inviting people to Super Saturday. And he said, if you're boiling water, you got 45 seconds to make a phone call and just put a bug in somebody's ear and say, hey, I have a lot of calls to make, but when I just want to know if when you have some time that we could talk and I can run this by you. I've got something I want to share with you. And people
Your
know their
audio is
schedules.
breaking up really bad.
yeah.
People know their schedules for the most part. And they may say, "Oh, I don't know my schedule." Well, you know your schedule for the next day or two. You know if you have some time or if you don't have some time, and if you don't, you say, "Okay, I got to get back to you." So you then by having those conversations with people, sorry, you get better at having them. You get more used to what's going on. You get faster and more efficient with them. So again, that'd be a place where being consistent with doing something like that every day is going to definitely help you a lot. And obviously, post on the page, team page, and say, hey guys, what's working for you in this? I'm doing this right now. Who's doing really well with that? Because people will answer pretty quickly. I think we all notice that as soon as somebody does post a question, there's a bunch of answers that are given really quickly. And I always share that with people when I talk to them about coaching. I'm like, the team is one of the most supportive teams you're going to ever get to work with, because if you have a question, you post it on Facebook and you'll have an answer within minutes. And otherwise, you can message your team, you can message your upline, you can message these people, and they'll make time for you. If it's not something you aren't going to get answered when you post in the group. So, if Yanni, if you have any, anything like that, post it in. I know Anna always talks about posting the team page, post on the group, because we all are in different places, but somebody is in the same place as you. So even not just with the business, just maybe emotionally, they are. I'm really busy. I don't know if I'm really doing this well enough to continue. Somebody may feel that way, and you can work together and keep each other motivated that way. Anybody else? We are about out of time too. So,
Well, I'm on the wait list for Summit, so I'm hoping that I'll get off the wait list for next summer because it's being held on my birthday, and that would be a pretty rad birthday meeting.
yeah, yeah, and the same thing. For waitlists, if you're not on the waitlist for Summit, get on the waitlist for Summit. If you're not on the waitlist for the cruise to Cancun, I know Chris and I were talking about that the other day. Like, he is on the waitlist, but if you're not, it goes fast. People, they make plans, they forget they planned this trip, they do all these things, and the time goes by, and then all of a sudden, they don't go on the trip, and there's a spot that opens up. So. Um, that's great that you're on the wait list, because that'll definitely help you um, possibly get a chance.
Yeah, I have all the tools. It's just a matter of sitting down and planning my calendar out. I just ran a group, a challenge, and I think I had one participant. My first group that I ran, I had great results. I think life got in the way, and I kind of like let it slide, and just I'm like, what's next? And then I saw Virginia's, which hosted last week's group call, and that was amazing. So, but I took a lot of notes and everything, but it's just like here I am looking through tons of research paper for homework.
Yeah.
And baby had a fever this weekend, so it was very hard to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to plan this stuff out. But I got it. I mean, it'll just take time when it's time. I'll get done.
Yeah, I mean, it does. You'll find your stride, and then you'll really, when you find your stride, you'll know it, and you can really, crank it up even more then, because you'll be cranking it up till you find your stride. Once you find it, then you just give it everything you've got, and you kind of ride that wave, and then, you
Mm-hmm.
hit a little dip again, but it won't be as bad because you'll have had all that success before that, and then you'll get re-energized, and boom, there you go again. So it is a roller coaster, but it's a really fun roller coaster.
Yeah.
So,
So
uh, can somebody take a screenshot? I can't do that on my iPad.
I think I might have. Let me see if it works.
Chris,
Let me see.
I got one.
you got one?
Yep, I got it too.
Okay, cool. Um,
I wasn't smiling.
all right, one more time for Dave.
Just
Awesome, guys. Well, I hope you guys all had a great weekend, and we will see you on Facebook and at the next call.
Sounds good. Have a good night.
All
Stay
right,
safe.
guys. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
bye.